This is the more traditional type of vocabulary question that we're going to see on the PSAT and SAT, just fill in the blank. But if we can, we should try to fill in the blank ourselves before we look at the choices, but let's just see what we get. When marine biologist Brittany Williams played different ocean recordings to groups of oyster larvae, groups that heard sounds of a healthy oyster reef were the most blank. They were twice as likely as other groups to show signs of making a permanent home. This suggests that playing recordings of a healthy ocean reef may encourage oysters to create such a reef. This is a skill you should try to get good at. I like to, when I notice that the sentences are kind of all reiterating the same idea, repeating the same idea, I try to steal a word from somewhere else so that I don't have to be too clever about coming up with my own word or testing out the answer choices. Here, you can probably look at the answer choices and start to fill in the blank with them and get the answer. But for the sake of practicing this, what I would do here is I'd think about like the word like encourage. That seems to be a repetition of what we're saying. So how about groups that heard sounds of a healthy oyster reef were the most encouraged? Right? So I'm changing the word slightly. I do a different version so it fits the tense or whatever you want to call it. And I understand that that's not a perfect fit for the word, but it's kind of repeating it and capturing that definition in a way that then I can look at the choices and hopefully something stands out. So they were the most responsive. If you're responding to something, if you're encouraged by it, right, that means you're going to respond to whatever it is, right? If your parents encourage you to do something, you're responding to that and you're going to probably do it. So that seems right. Inactive, that seems bad, right? I mean, we're talking about the healthy oyster reef. So they were the most inactive? No, they're the ones who are creating the reef. They're showing signs of making a permanent home. They're definitely more active, not inactive. So this is the wrong connotation. The groups that heard sounds of a healthy oyster reef were the most liked. Like we have our favorite oysters. What are we even talking about here? So no, does liked mean encouraged? No. And distressed, definitely negative as well. We want something positive here. So distressed means stressed out, right? Like anxious or something like that. So we can use connotations a bit. We wanted a positive word. I would say liked and responsive are positive. But I think responsive also just kind of fits this idea that they're kind of like the oysters are motivated in some way to build based on the sounds. So yeah, A is definitely the answer. Try to do this thing where I did here, where I fill in the blank by stealing something. It doesn't work all the time, but the more you can do it, the more you'll be able to do it when you really need it.